Hey, last time we got a lot in the game, like a skill tree, more enemies, more guns, bullets, and an actual objective to the game. So let's add more, and I think a great place to start would be adding a health bar. I think the best place for the health bar is probably right underneath the player, so you can easily see it. So let's go ahead and test it and see if it works. Let's also turn off that interactable part, so you can't just change it whenever you want, because the health bar is technically a slider, which is UI, which the player can interact with. And we don't want that, so yeah, let's just turn that off. Okay, let's make it a bit smaller, because that's way too big. Okay, that was pretty easy to make, so let's go on to making more skills. Okay, so here's our new buttons. We have more damage, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2 new enemies, a really big gun, a pentagon, and 4 more faster reloads. Side note, I will be changing the old skill to faster bullet velocity instead of reload speed, so it's not confusing. And finally, a button that will become mandatory to unlock to get to more parts of the skill tree. All it does is increase the difficulty of the game. And there's also a death button, which makes it able to die, although you need it to unlock enemies, so you technically can always die. And 3 more faster movement skills for the player. So now that we have a bunch of new buttons, I'm gonna have to remake the skill tree. So hope you didn't get attached to the old one. Okay, it's took about an hour because most of the skills are on the bullet side, and not much of them go together. But anyways, let's try and see if it works. Okay, yeah, everything works, as well as everything looking pretty good. So the new enemies are going to be an assassin, which is a glass cannon, meaning he's really fast, does a lot of damage, while having the downside of not much health. He's going to be a bit tricky to make, because the more you mess with the values of enemies, the weirder they get. However, I'm known for being the best in the world, so this is going to be pretty easy. And look at that, that was pretty easy. Now to make a boss enemy. So changing the values would work, but I want this boss to be special. So we're gonna give him a health bar and some special abilities. Okay, just made a lot of changes, as well as making the boss, and I'm hoping for little to no errors. Okay, right off the bat, I actually forgot to make the changes. I coded everything, just not actually doing anything. Because Unity and Visual Studios are different. Visual Studios is where you code everything. Unity is where you put everything together. And I didn't put anything together, so let's quickly do that. Okay, great. Put everything together, and the pentagon looks really weird, but I'm too lazy to fix it, so it's fine. Okay, I got carried away and just made a natural regeneration, so maybe in the future I'll make upgrades to increase that. But for now, we actually have a way to heal. Now let's test it, hopefully with no errors. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually change anything, so yeah, let's do that now. Okay, changes have been made, and everything actually works, which is really surprising, except for the enemies, because none of them seem to be spawning for some reason. So I'm not going to work on that now because I'm lazy. And I'm going to go back to making a better point system. Alright, so that was really quick. So now every kill you get a kill point, which is your grand score at the end of the game. And points are just going to be used to get skills in the skill tree. But I can't do that because for some reason enemies don't spawn. Oh, it's true when it should be false. I made this mistake way too many times. Also just realized another problem. Now that I have more guns, my gun unlock button only unlocks 1 gun. So I guess let's fix that. Okay, never mind. All I had to do was change the order of some things, and it all works. Alright, fix the gun and points. Now, let's work on some color. Oh, this part was pretty easy. Only if it actually changed the color when it get hit. Okay, once again. Oh, I never assigned it, which means I was calling a friend, but the friend isn't there. So now I have to put the friend there. Okay, now it's just staying red. Oh, it turned it back to red. Okay, let's try this for real now. Okay, but that's a bit too red. Okay, that actually made it worse. One more time, and perfect. Now to test the assassin enemy. No, let's fix that. Okay, this is about 5 seconds later, and I just realized the problem. I spelled something wrong. Okay, so now that's fixed. Let's try it. Okay, I was actually expecting that to work, but no. Okay, I found the problem. I thought this was going to be easy because I can just copy and paste and change the values. However, I forgot to change it back, which means this should say assassin, not tank. Okay, with that minor inconvenience out of the way, let's try it. Okay, I just found one, and it seems to be doing everything it needs to do. Okay, but now, it's time for the boss. First, I'll start off by making the camera freeze in place, so you have an arena when you're fighting. And actually, this is sort of cool. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to change things up a bit. This is pretty cool. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make difficulties in the game now. We're gonna have a room run, where you're stuck in the room the whole time, and a free run, which is a free camera. It follows you wherever you want. Okay, that's actually a really good idea for the game. Although for some reason, the health bar isn't doing what it's supposed to do. Well, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I just told it something wrong. Oh, here's the problem. I never actually told it was a room run. And now it should work? Still no. I don't know why it didn't work. but I tried it a different way, so now it should work. Okay, well it worked, but now it's a little big. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay, now to work on a name and info furry button. But first, the health bar isn't showing up. Okay, it's showing up, it's just not losing health. Oh, so the problem was I was dividing the health by the max health, but that's almost always higher than 1. And since the max value for the slider is always 1, it's going to round to 1. So it's always going to be the max. So I made it so whenever the boss spawns in, the max health is set to the enemy's health. Okay, for some reason, I completely switched to making an image for the boss while I was literally fixing the health bar. So I guess we have this for a boss. So this will be a test of the new sprite and health bar. Okay, that's a little too big. Alright, that's a pretty good size. However, it's a little boring. So let's get some ideas. Okay, that's a good one. 5-minute coding adventure later, and let's see if this works. Great. Now some enemies spawn whenever he takes damage. Now the health bar isn't working. Okay, so I actually didn't set the value of the health bar anywhere, which might be the problem. I set the value, and I also made it so you have to kill all the enemies before killing the boss. So now it's an actual boss, and it's pretty difficult. Unfortunately, you go behind the health bars, which I don't care enough to change, so this is gonna have to do. And for the final change is going to be the name and info for the skill. Okay, that was pretty easy, and there you go. Everything shows up along with the price. Okay, great. This is gonna be the game so far. We got a lot of progress. We got lots more skill, more type of guns, more enemies, and a boss. We have some natural health generation, a health bar as well, and a boss health bar. We also got 2 different types of difficulties, a free run and a room run, which I accidentally made, and name and info for the skills. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments, because if they're good, I might just add them to the game. Plus the ideas I got from the comments, and most of them were good. If you want to try these games, go to itch.io/tburger, where you can try all of them, including this one. Every video, I update it to the newest version. Alright, see you in the next one. Subscribe or I will delete your computer.
Linda.